Now, the Sun City Convention Centre is set to become a vaccination site dedicated to the hospitality industry. The Department of Health has given the resort the go-ahead to operate until December. Well, to tell us more about this, Sun City General Manager Brett Hoppy joins us. Brett, thanks very much for your time this evening. So I see the plan is to vaccinate about 7,500 people in phases. Who exactly will you be vaccinating, and how long is it expected to run for?
Well, good evening, Devon. I hope you're well and safe in these strange times. But our initial phase is 7,500 employees, and the second phase and the third phase will then move on from that to expand more broadly to the hospitality area in this, or the hospitality arena in this space. So in other words, all hospitality employees, and thereafter we will move on to becoming a fully fledged vaccination site for mass vaccinations for the community, obviously subject to Department of Health approval. But as we stand at this point in time, we've achieved a certification for a hospitality workplace vaccination site, which means that we can vaccinate our employees and related industries. And we have a concurrent application running with the Department of Health in order to achieve a mass vaccination site certification. And once that happens, we'll be able to expand to the broader community. So I'm coming to you tonight from the vaccination centre. This is actually where part of the vaccination process will take place at Sun City, in the Sun City Super Bowl. So it's quite interesting to see an entertainment venue shut down in its entirety and becoming a vaccination site.
Yeah,
so we're hoping to achieve maximum effect in terms of our penetration, not only for our own industry. You know, the hospitality industry has been decimated by COVID, but certainly to expand that to the broader community and try and service that need.
I want to get to that in a moment, and I can see those chairs lined up and stacked with those social distant regulations behind you there. Clearly, you've handled crowds before because, I mean, you've been in the event space, so presumably this would not be such a difficult task for you, just given the resources you have.
Well, I think that's such an important point that you raised, Devon. If we look at all industries have certain intellect, certain infrastructural capability, and if we come together as South Africans and private sector to support government in this important initiative, we can really achieve immense progress. So, you know, it's not necessarily always about money. It's about understanding what infrastructure you have, what intellectual capability one has, and leveraging that to the best effect.
Would it disrupt your normal hospitality business operations with guests?
Well, given the present regulations, you know, our convention centre and our entertainment facilities are effectively shut down, given that you may only have 50 people in an indoor venue or no more than 50 people. So, you know, and as business normalizes, we have certain other infrastructural capability at Sun City which we will leverage to ensure the continuation of the service. So should business levels start to normalize, we will move the facility into other infrastructure that we have, because I think it's vitally important at this time, you know, that we achieve the objective and the numbers that, in conjunction with the Department of Health, that we've set out to achieve. So we will move that facility. So there'll be no disruption to business at Sun City per se. We're hoping that on Sunday the President comes out with an upliftment of the current status, because presently Sun City is closed. But as I say, you know, it's again up to the Department of Health and the powers that be to interpret the numbers that we're facing at this point in time, and we'll wait for that announcement on Sunday. But it's certainly our intention to continue all the way through to December, and, you know, as I say, get as many people through the process as we can.
You're pretty far away from a metropole, so to speak, like Johannesburg or Pretoria. But I would imagine that you'll have everything that a vaccination site here would have. Medics would be on hand to assist people should they show any sign of allergic reaction. I mean, you have all of that stuff there in place.
Well, I think that's a very interesting point. So we have our own medical resources, but the Department of Health, both from a Northwest perspective and from a national perspective, have supported us with all the necessary regulatory parameters. And we're ready to service that need. You know, it's about an 8-stage process, all the way through from EVDS registration, through a pre-check of vitals, and then into the waiting area, and then you have a post-vaccination waiting period of 15 minutes, and then you're checked out on the EVDS system. We have emergency infrastructure in the background, advanced life support, etc., etc. So should someone start manifesting any signs of difficulty, we have a full medical team to assist them.
Brett, just before you go, I mean, there's both a large, semi-formal residential area that you are, and there is an informal residential area around Sun City. And you mentioned a little earlier that you could expand this vaccination drive to the broader community. When can that happen, and how far are you willing to stretch out here?
Well, working with the Department of Health, we've had extensive meetings over the last couple of days, and your point is exactly correct. We're looking to extend an outreach program, leveraging other industries for support. So we will use potentially Sun City as the vaccination node. We're seeking support from the mining sector, for example, to provide inbound transport, to deliver people into the node, and we will then process them infrastructurally and then return them to the transport. Because I think what's very, very important here is, you pointed it out earlier, we're in a very outlying area. And we have a lot of remote communities around us that would potentially not have a hope of getting to vaccination or through the vaccination process very quickly. So our intention is to support local government in creating this node and creating a mass vaccination site that has huge capability, and then bringing people into the vaccination site from the outlying areas using transport, both public and private sector transport, where we're seeking support from the mining sector, for example, to provide the transport infrastructure to deliver people into the vaccination site and return them again to the outlying areas. So we're busy working with the Department of Health in the Northwest to create that planning in and around how we handle the infrastructure.
All right, so I hope that the kickoff runs smoothly this weekend. Thanks very much indeed, Sun City General Manager Brett Hoppy.